My name is Kurt Angle. Tonight I face Rob Van Dam. If I beat Rob Van Dam, I'll earn the right to compete for the WWE Championship at Saturday night's main event. But you already knew that. What you probably don't know is, since April 2nd, I consider every day a failure. Because April 2nd, WrestleMania, was the last day I held a championship belt. And every single night, I come home, and my wife kisses me. And my 3-year-old girl, my little girl, looks me in the eyes, and she hugs me. And I put this fake smile on my face. But inside, I hate myself. Because I am a champion. I am the greatest champion this business has ever seen. And if getting the chance to be a champion again means taking Rob Van Dam, a man I personally have no problem with, and beating on him so badly and putting him in such agonizing pain, he prays to God to go back in time so he can choose another line of work, then that's what I'll do. It's what I have to do. Because failure is not an option. Not when your name is Kut Angle.
Yeah. Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode or trip around the multiverse with your host, the guy who likes to drink his milk and sometimes say his prayers, Kyle Charles, and
the man who won the Olympic medal with a broken freaking neck, CY Chong.
I was gonna say that, but I thought, you know what, you might say it, so I'm not gonna say it. And in this episode today, we're going to be speaking about the legend known as Curtis Angle. Or Kurt Angle. And
the funny thing, Kurt Angle's gimmick is basically that he's Kurt Angle, Olympic gold medalist. That's basically it. So everything else was him acting. If you know, playing a character of himself, even.
Yeah, that's the best way of putting it.
Yeah. But what's great about Kurt is he don't care about looking stupid.
Nope, he thrived in it.
Yeah,
really
he embraced it. But then again, as well, some people they will play the comedy character, and just look stupid throughout. Yeah. Whereas Kurt Angle played comedy character, but he'd go in there and make himself look like amazing as well, and it's totally amazing in the process and stuff like that. He's just like. He's a beast. Yeah,
he didn't go too comedy. Yeah.
He might be funny and he might be a fool, but goddamn, he can destroy you as well at the same time. I have to say, when you look at that certain things, though, in wrestling, Edge and Christian were brothers, and then they're not brothers, right?
Yeah.
And which means, right, if Edge and Christian were brothers, and Christian went to somewhere else, and he's called Christian Cage, does that make Edge's surname Cage?
Maybe.
Yeah, until they were found out to be best friends. Which, okay, I mean, whatever, right?
But I know that's randomly off topic, but you know what's funny about that? You know when Christian went to TNA.
Yeah.
And then, I think he was having a promo with Jeff Jarrett, and he says, something like your brother up north. I was like, okay.
Actually, I remember that promo because Jeff Jarrett was talking about how Christian betrays every single one of his partners. Yeah. Chris Jericho, your brother Edge, and some other people. Yeah. And Christian was like, yeah, you got me there.
And I thought, okay, they're still carrying us on. And then when he came back to the WWE in like 2009 or whatever it was. Yeah. Actually, even for then, they were still brothers. It wasn't until like Edge retired, they kind of like, they're best friends.
I think after he won the ECW title, I think they weren't brothers. I think they was talking about something about friends or something like that. I can't remember.
Something like that. Yeah.
They made the switch at some point, right?
Yeah.
But it is relevant, by the way. It's not randomly off topic. It's kind of like WWE retcons.
Yeah.
Kurt Angle came in there and he was talking about how he loves abstinence, right? The best sex is no sex. Okay.
Yeah.
And that was in 1999-ish. You know when he first started appearing.
Yeah.
And then in 2000 and something. When was Jason Jordan around?
2018, I want to say.
All right, so all of a sudden he has a half black son, right?
Yeah.
Who's 30s or whatever.
Late 20s, early 30s, yeah.
Yeah, and so that means, right, he must have lied about abstinence.
Yeah.
Because you can't have a son that age if you were like 30.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. I just want to throw that in there for the jokes. I was like, what did you think about that, by the way, when they said Jason Jordan was Kurt Angle's son? Because
I didn't mind it personally, because everyone thought it was going to be Chad Gable in it, when that's a bit too obvious.
Oh no, but just not necessarily. Oh, it made more sense or not, right?
Yeah.
But they were Olympic wrestlers and stuff like that, so there was a bit more the hair, right? They had similar hair and stuff like that, you know.
Yeah.
Not kind of similar facial features ish, right? But you could buy it.
Yeah, you could buy it. You can buy it. Yeah.
Whereas I don't want to say this was out of left field, but it was just a bit more like, all right, are we doing the obvious? But are we not doing the obvious for the sake of not doing the obvious, or was there an actual, you know?
Yeah.
Something, you know, somewhere they were planning to, even though the plans just got derailed because Jason Jordan had his injury and he couldn't continue.
Yeah. I didn't mind it. It in the long run, it kind of made more sense in a way. Because if it was Chad Gable, realistically, what more could you do with him? Sort of, he's bona fide, if you know what I mean. But Jason Jordan wasn't really bona fide. He's not like Olympic gold medalist or anything, so he can have that weird little confidence problem sort of thing. That's why he acts out the way he did. So that makes more sense.
Okay, fair enough.
I kind of enjoyed it. The story went a bit weird after a while, not because of him being tag team partners with Seth and winning the tag team titles, that weird stuff. That was a bit
yeah. I don't know what that was about.
Yeah, that was a bit weird.
I tell you what, I just remember bits of Kurt Angle, not just WWE and TNA, but this is specifically WWE. And I'm gonna kind of reiterate the promo, and you tell me if you remember him saying this, because he actually legit said this, right?
Yeah.
This was a bit when he's feuding with John Cena. So
yeah,
in 2005, no matter who feuded with John Cena, they got cheers.
Yeah.
So it was like Jericho, Benoit, Kurt Angle. Triple H was like, oh no, I will get the booze, and he got cheers as well, because I think partially because Cena had the STF and he somehow made a submission specialist tap out. Right. So that was the backlash. Anyway, Kurt Angle's feuding with John Cena. They're cheering Kurt Angle. So Kurt Angle does this promo and says, right, this was a backstage promo, right? So, you know, with the interview, and he's like, all right. They're asking Kurt Angle's thoughts, and Kurt Angle's thoughts are like, yeah. So I think the greatest world in the country is, because he's all American, right? Greatest country in the world is France. And then he said, I'm not a fan of the quote unquote black people.
Oh yeah, that was hilarious.
And then he said,
I loved that.
And then he said, if I could go back in time and make anyone tap out, it'd be Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
And I was like,
that was amazing.
Yeah. And then the interview is like, Kurt, why are you saying this, right? He's like, I'll say this because all the people out there know I'm so legit, right? No matter what I say, they'll cheer for me. And they cheer for him after as well.
Yeah.
It's like, all right.
I loved that. When that happened, I was like, oh, Kurt, you are great. Oh, I don't much like the black people. Yeah, that was hilarious.
Yeah. Also, do you remember the sexy Kurt?
Yeah, because he was a sexy Kirk. Sexy Kirk. Yeah, man, I remember all that. That was just before. No, that was during the feud with him and Shawn Michaels, isn't it?
Yeah. Where he sang, he'll make your ankle hurt, and I was like, okay, sure. This guy, what a joker. Yeah. Who's capable of putting all that off and still come with a world caliber match that he looks good in, no matter all the stupid stuff he did prior to that.
Even when he Olympic slammed Sherry Martel as well, that was.
And then gave her the ankle lock as well.
Yeah, she was a trooper. Yeah, so weird.
Yeah, like you said, with the milk, instead of Stone Cold with his beer truck, he had Kurt Angle with his milk truck.
Yeah,
which. Milk goes rank, by the way.
That's why I was like, "Oh, that's something." And I heard the story of something that the milk wasn't fresh.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh no. Oh, it's a different story. I'm not sure. There's a story though, definitely, where the milk wasn't fresh and he had to drink it. And I don't know if he gave Kurt, the Rock some milk as well, and because it was left out in the studio lights and everything like that. Because pro wrestlers, right? Look what they wrestle in. Yeah, the arenas must be hot.
Yeah.
And they end up drinking it, and they obviously had to down it or pour it over themselves. You know how when Stone Cold drinks beer, just like 90% of the beer goes all over him.
Yep, everywhere but his mouth. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Yeah. Yep. So when Kurt appeared, Kurt first appeared, what did you think of the guy?
I don't really know because he first appeared. Like, I thought, okay, he's kind of not boring, but I was like, oh, okay, he's a guy.
Yeah.
And then I didn't start really paying attention to him properly until at the Royal Rumble, I think Royal Rumble 2000, when Taz came and beat him. That's when I started paying more attention to Kurt.
So I think Kurt was deliberately set up to be preachy.
Yeah.
And when I say boring, just like blanded enough, right? That it's you like, okay, he's there, but with no character.
Yeah.
But it's all deliberate, right? Because it's like, oh yeah, do this, do that, say your prayers, take your vitamins, right? Yeah. But not Hogan style, just more like, yeah, I'm preaching to you, and a bit condescending and stuff like that.
Yeah. Preachy, yeah. Yeah,
the 3 I's: intensity, integrity, and intelligence.
Yeah.
And then his undefeated streak because the Olympic gold medalist, right?
Yeah, because he's legit. Yeah.
Yeah,
makes sense.
No, but not that wasn't that. That was
but
like,
you kind of make sense if that makes sense.
Yeah. But they weren't playing it like that. They're playing a bit more like, he's started worming more ways to try and stay undefeated. And then when Taz choked him out, like you're saying that Rumble, right?
Yeah.
He was like, oh yeah, I got choked out, and chokes are illegal.
Yeah.
But I'm still undefeated.
Yeah, I was like, okay, he's funny.
All right. Yeah. Okay, makes sense.
From then, that's when I started to like Kurt Angle. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you think he was better? Like, how many years did he have hair for?
To about 2003, I think it was.
Yeah. When did Edge win the Royal Rumble? Oh, the Royal Rumble, the King of the Ring.
I think he won the King of the Ring 2001. Because just before the invasion, he won it. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's when Kurt lost his head, because they feuded for the So Kurt had 3 matches that night. Because he had the semi-finals against Rhino, right?
Yeah.
Then the finals against Edge, and then he had to fight. Then he had this match against Shane McMahon as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then because he didn't win the King of the Ring, he went into a feud with Edge, and then Edge shaved his head.
No, because in the invasion storyline, he had hair.
Oh yeah, did it have a feud later on?
It must have a feud later on, because he had hair in that. And then when they had the SmackDown 6 and all that.
Yeah, it might have been that. Yeah, it might have been that around that time. Yeah,
I think he was bald then.
Did you read about the prank they played on Edge there?
No.
So, Kurt Angle and Vince basically told Edge, "Oh, Edge, you're gonna lose the hair versus hair match."
Yeah.
And Edge is like, "Oh, but I've got all this long hair and I've got a weird shaped head or something like that, right?" They're like, "Oh well, it sucks to be you." And they all played it up until the very last, like the beginning of the match.
Yeah.
Where Kurt Angle said, "Yeah, of course I'm gonna lose." Yeah. And Edge was like, "Oh, great." So when they started shaving Kurt Angle's hair, because they didn't prep Edge because they were pranking him for that long.
Yeah.
Edge was using the clippers the wrong way.
Oh.
The way that Kurt Angle told it was like, he was shearing into Kurt's head.
Yeah.
And Kurt had to tell him to switch it around. But when you watch the clip, he's using the wrong way, but it's not like he's making Kurt Angle bleed across his head all over the place. And stuff.
Yeah. Like when there was another person who got their hair cut in a loser loses their hair match, and you see they're cutting their person's scalp. Like, oh, you're doing this wrong. This doesn't look very.
Was that in WWE?
Yeah, and I think I remember one time Raven as well. I can't remember what that was.
Yeah.
And you saw it like literally cutting scalp. You're like, oh, that's
Did you? I'm not sure. I can't remember which game it was. One of the WWE games. That was a storyline in it.
Yeah, it was one of the it was one of the SmackDown games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think I was playing in that as Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, what happens if you beat Edge then? In that case, yeah.
Yeah.
Same thing happens. Whether you beat Edge or not, right? Whether you beat Edge or Edge beats you, yeah, you end up in the sleeper hold.
Yeah, you're
like
switch around or whatever. You're like, oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, well, you'd think, right? You'd think that if you defeat Edge, you shave his head, right?
Yeah.
Or like you go to shave his head, and Christian comes out, hits you with a chair or something, and Edge never gets his head shaved, and you know.
Or what they should have really.
But to be fair, actually, if you're the heel, they can't do that, you know.
Yeah.
But anyway, gone.
But what they should have really done is one of those matches where you technically can't win.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and you get around it. Really, it's like part of the storyline.
Mm-hmm.
You lose and then get the haircut. Not you win and then you get your haircut anyway. Like
yeah.
It's kind of broken, but all right, sure. I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Yeah. Yeah. But Kurt Angle, like, so he came. Okay. So what did you think of him winning the Eurocontinental title? Which was great because he won the Intercontinental title and the European title, and he combined them both together, even though they're still separate.
Yep.
And then he lost them by not getting pinned each time in a triple threat match, 2 out of 3 falls.
I thought it was pretty good. That's when he was feuding with Jericho and He Who Shall Not Be Named, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
Yeah. That was a good match. I think that was one of my favorite matches in that time period. Yeah.
Yeah, I like the way around it. Even though it was kind of quick and fast,
yeah,
like it was shorter than you expected, but at the same time, it's like, you know what? This makes a hilarious amount of sense because Kurt Angle's in there thinking, what the hell happened?
He's like, wait, what? No. Oh, Kurt.
No. Okay. So Kurt Angle won his WWE World Title within like a calendar year.
Yeah, it was, isn't it? Yeah, it's really quick. I didn't think it was that quick to recently when I was watching something and he went, yeah, he won it in a year. I was like, wait.
He won it in November, right? He won it in November of the like. So he first appearance in November 1999.
Yeah,
and then he won the title. Was it October or November?
I think it was October.
Yeah, No Mercy, right?
Yeah, No Mercy. Yeah.
Do you read about how he got the awarded the title? Technically, well, you read how they gave him the title.
No.
All right, so not in a bad way, but just like so at SummerSlam, was that 2000? SummerSlam 2000, yeah.
Yeah.
The Rock, it was Triple H, The Rock, and Kurt Angle in a triple threat match, and this is where Kurt Angle's also having his love story with Stephanie McMahon.
Yeah.
Which was quite funny, actually. Which is really, I enjoyed that, by the way. Even though Triple H curtailed it and basically said, "Well, yeah, but you know, I'm gonna look stupid.
Yeah.
If this continues, so I ain't gonna make myself look stupid."
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Rewrite. Make everyone else look stupid. All right. Fair enough. Triple H. Anyways. So that match begins. I think. I can't remember who comes in first, but there's Triple H, there's Kurt Angle, and they start brawling before the Rock even gets in the ring, and then he tries to pedigree Kurt, but the table
the table falls in.
Yeah, and Kurt's like concussed or something like that, because Triple H is like not panicking, but he's like clearly asking, "Oh, you're right, right?"
Yeah.
And then the Rock comes, and then they have their match. They Triple H and the Rock just basically have their match on the side.
Yeah.
While Kurt Angle's being sat down on a steel chair, and they're checking him. And logically speaking, he'd probably be laying on the floor or be stretched to the back.
Yeah.
If it was storyline wise. But because it was legit, he basically was sitting in a chair and they have the trainers check on him and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then later on, he still continued the match, even though he didn't need to. Well, not that no one would have said nothing if he didn't continue the match, right?
Yeah.
But him being Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
And anyways,
when concussions weren't really a thing.
Yeah. So he continued the match. He I can't remember who took the pinfall, maybe him. But anyways, he did what he needed to do to finish the match, and then they were like, job well done, Kurt. Job well done. Even though we're going to WrestleMania 17, where it's going to be The Rock versus Stone Cold, face versus face for the number one, box office draw, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And we're going to award you a title shot in the middle of it. A title run in the middle of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. As a thank you for continuing the match.
Yeah.
That's why Rock's. Yeah, that's why Rock's run got cut. Title run got cut short there.
Yeah.
And then he won the title like February before WrestleMania.
Yeah, isn't that the one where he rock bottomed him and then the ref didn't count it, so the rock bottomed him straight after? Yeah.
And then looked at El up there and said, "Count it."
Yeah. I remember watching it as a kid, and I was like, "Oh, that's cool." He did 2 rock bottoms, and then when I got older and I heard the phrases, I was like, "Oh wow, that's kind of ooh, awkward."
Yeah. But even then, like, we're at Royal Rumble 2000, Wales, which didn't make any sense, by the way, because Kurt Angle was a heel and Triple H was a heel as well.
Yeah.
And they were kind of feuding with each other, but it's a weird heel versus heel match.
Yeah.
And you're like, all right, so one's a kind of a comedy-ish heel.
Yeah.
Right? Humorous heel, one's a straight heel.
Yeah.
So, who's going to end up looking good coming out of this? Well, Triple H, of course, right?
Yeah.
So I don't get why they did that. Like one of them should have been a face or something like that, but
make it more indistinguishable what's going on. But it's a bit weird.
I do remember that match because Triple H did a Razor's Edge off the second rope on Kurt Angle.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
And Stone Cold came and interfered, of course, to help Kurt Angle. No, he didn't help Kurt Angle win, but so as the Royal Rumble was happening, Stone Cold's come out. Triple H attacks him out of nowhere for no reason, right? Makes him bloody, throws him into the boxes, whatever, so Stone Cold does not enter the ring yet.
Yeah.
Just so later on, Stone Cold can then, interfere with this match and make Triple H lose. Right. To be fair, they were kind of feuding with each other to go to the 3 stages of Hell match.
Yeah.
Which Triple H won by. So I think the first fall was a. Or was it a normal match? The first fall.
I think the first fall was a normal match. Then wasn't the second one a falls count anywhere in it? Yeah,
and then the third one. So they drew 1-1, and then the third one was a cage Hell in the Cell.
Yeah.
Which Triple H had the sledgehammer. Stone Cold had a 2x4 and barbed wire. I can't remember exactly what it was. Anyways, they hit each other, and then Stone Cold. Then Triple H just kind of they fall at a weird angle where Triple H drops on Stone Cold, and then they both get then he gets the pinfall, right?
Yeah.
And then as soon as that happens, they get up. When they, not as soon as that happens, but they get up, and Stone Cold nullifies it by stunning Triple H. It's like, all right, okay,
yeah.
I'm like, you got his big win. To be fair, he was going to WrestleMania though, so he had to look strong. But at the same time, don't book people in positions where they like if your lead match is that, then protect him, right?
Yeah.
And keep him separate from other stuff that don't make up, anyways. That's why I go to this company sometimes. You're like, there's other things to do. You don't need to specifically do these things.
Yeah, it's weird. Like unthought through sort of thing.
Wait, so who did Kurt Angle have a match with that WrestleMania?
I don't know, That's a good question. Who did he have a match with at that WrestleMania?
Was that WrestleMania 2000? No, that was 2021. Was it Kane? Or was it He Who Shall Not Be Named, even though we're naming him?
It might be He Who Shall Not Name. WrestleMania 9. This is WrestleMania 17, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it was He Who Shall Not Be Named. Which, by the way, was a good amateur wrestling style match.
Yeah. Yes, it was. He shall not be named. Yeah.
Which is weird because you're like, okay, all action and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But what they did was grapple.
Yeah.
Just pure grapple, and people loved it.
Yeah, for 14 minutes as well. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Wow. But they're talking about how I'm going to submit you, blah blah blah, and it ends up not being a match like that. But people didn't care.
No, because it was two of the possibly best wrestlers at the time. Yeah. Even he should not be named.
Yeah, they're grabbing and sprawling and all that stuff, and it's just like, yep, countering.
Yeah.
And then Kurt gets a roll up pin.
Yeah.
With the ropes, was it?
Yes, and the tights. I think it was the rope. Yeah, it was the ropes. Yeah. Oh man.
And the tights, was it the tights as well?
Yeah. And I remember like Benoit kind of like being angry. He got kind of angry at the end of the match, obviously, because he got pinned with a roll up. Yeah. And a bit of tights. Yeah.
Yeah, they had some intense matches. I tell you that much.
Yeah,
they did look like they were going. It's like, well, what do you mean pacing?
What is pacing?
You talking about resting? What are you talking about, man? This cardio to the max, non-stop.
That was hilarious. Ooh.
The amount of German suplexes they were giving each other.
Yeah, that's when they both were using triple suplexes. I mean, triple German suplexes as well, wasn't it?
There's a couple of sequences I remember, but yeah, and you're like, all right, so Kurt was they did one or two like German suplexes to each other, right, and then wrap waist lock and then like reverse and stuff like that, yeah. And then I think Kurt won the German suplex battle by doing the 3 in a row, right?
Yeah.
Oh, get up, woo! Yeah, tries to do another one, I think, and then the rabbit Wolverine swings around behind him with waist lock and just basically flips him over with a German suplex, like the moonsault German suplex, all the way around.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, these guys, man.
Oh man, they were great.
Oh. Definitely battering each other.
Yeah, legitly as well.
Mm-hmm.
But in a good way.
Yeah. You know, though, the thing is with Kurt is how well he can mix his styles with everyone.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say they wrestle his style of match, right? Because later on when he got to TNA, he had a specific, not layout necessarily, but a way that things would go.
Yeah. It's more formulaic when he got to TNA. Yeah.
But what I mean is like he'd wrestle his way, his style in the ring around other people's style. Not like, okay, let's force them to do my match. No. It's like I got specific things like I'm good at in this match, like submissions, right? No, I'll work on the submission. The thing is that I find as a submission expert, right? It didn't really work the legs that much.
No. Even though his finisher was the ankle lock.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He'd spammed the ankle lock, right? Fair enough. Okay.
Yeah.
But I don't see you doing much chop blocking or anything like that, you know? Yeah.
That's like who can I use for example? That is like someone working a leg the whole match and then finishing it with a crossface. Makes no sense.
Yeah.
Make no sense. But then you kind of buy it. Oh yeah, that's his finisher. But then you think about it after, like, wait.
By the way, did you read?
Stupid. Yeah.
Did you read your story about Kenny? So, Bill DeMott was having beef with Kenny Omega in OVW for some reason.
Yeah.
And then, so they were like, we do like for this practice match or whatever. What you got to do is work on your opponent's choose a body part, work on it, and win the match. Yeah. Being technical.
Yeah.
So then throughout the match, Kenny Omega was doing like attacking the glutes.
Yeah.
And he finished the match with a super atomic drop from and then Bill DeMott was like, he wasn't happy with it, and he was like, oh, so what body part did you work on? He says, the ass, Bill, the ass. I'm like, Kenny, you are Joker.
Yeah.
But I buy it.
Yeah.
Finish made perfect sense.
Like, you did the opposite. It's like You actually did what I said to do. Oh,
Yeah.
I can't be angry with that.
Yeah.
I'll get you. Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, Builderman. What a guy. That's what I can say to that. What a guy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Do you prefer the ankle lock as Kurt's finisher or the angle slam? Or do you think he should have had something that was a bit like, I don't want to say in the middle there, but that he needed something else, maybe?
Yeah, maybe. But I did prefer the angle slam over the ankle lock. But also, it depended who he did it to, because some people looked awesome. Some people took, like, he kind of lifted you halfway and gave up.
Right.
Yeah.
I will say the ankle slam did look like how you would do in Olympic wrestling, kind of. A bit more exaggerated, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, am I mixing up? I think I might be mixing up, right, with something else, yeah?
Okay.
But I think there's a sequence, a double team sequence in Arkham Knight, right? Where Batman and Nightwing do a combination move.
Yeah.
And I think one of them lifts for the Olympic slam, and as they're coming down, the other person catches them in a powerbomb.
Oh, I think you're right. Yeah. For some reason, I was thinking of someone gets thrown up for Olympic slam and they get kneed in the face by the person, but I think you're right. You're right. Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, fair enough. I mean, it does make sense, and I don't know why there isn't a, like American out like get Chad Gable's stable. He could do that. He could work with that as a double team finish.
Yeah.
I say he's stable, but him and Otis. Yeah. The thing is, though, like after a while, people started kicking out the Olympic. Like, I think his match with Shawn Michaels, right? He did a top rope Olympic slam on Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
And Shawn Michaels kicked out.
Yeah, that's one of my pet peeves in wrestling in general, though, stuff like that. It's like they do a top rope version of the finisher and they kick out, but then a normal version, they don't. It's like, wait, later on in the match, like, that makes.
The thing is also like like my pet peeve is they scramble to go to they hit the finish and they scramble over for the pin. Like, no, give it a couple of seconds, because then when they kick out of your finish, you're right. It doesn't look weak. And there was a time where Razor Ramon did his finish, right? And then, because he had the guy kick out of it, I can't. It was a job or whatever it was, right? Yeah. But not to make him look good or anything, but he did it. He did the Razor's Edge. Yeah. Then he looked at the camera before pinning the guy. He looked at the camera. He was like 1, 2, 3 with his fingers. Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll give you a few seconds already. And then he looked at the ref. He pointed at the guy. He went for the pin. And the guy getting kicked out. And I was like, okay, that's a good 10 seconds of showboating or whatever.
Yeah.
Fair enough, the guy kicked out,
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but, even then, like, when you hit your finish, I think when DDP hit the Diamond Cut on Goldberg, and they counted to 9 before DDP managed to crawl over to Goldberg, and Goldberg kicked out at 2. Yeah. But it protects DDP's finish because he's been down for 9. They've both been down for 9 seconds.
Yeah, it makes sense.
It's one of those. But make sense. It's just like it was a super version. Okay. Now I don't know how much you remember of the match specifically, right? Which was a really good match. Yeah. Shawn Michaels super kicked Kurt Angle, and he kicked out at like 2.99999 ish.
Yeah.
You could argue it was actually the free count, and I think the crowd thought it was a free count.
Yeah. And
they were trying that was free or something like that.
Yeah.
I thought Kurt Angle kicked out way too late. Or slightly too late, where it was like, you should have kicked out a bit faster on that one.
Yeah, because it might have made it a bit awkward. Yeah. Say that referee was a bit faster.
Exactly. I think he was trying to like make it like a very, very late kick out, but at the same time, it was so late that it almost wasn't a kick out.
Yeah.
He's like, I forgot to kick out.
It was almost a free, I was like, oh, that's awkward.
Yeah. Do you remember his match with Rey Mysterio at SummerSlam? Was it SummerSlam 2005 or 4?
I think it was 2005.
Was it 2003? Maybe.
It might be 2003. Because I think 2005 is 2003. I think he dressed up as Daredevil, so it could be.
I He had the opening match with Rey Mysterio, and it was a very good match. Because like look at most people raise sides, you just throw about all over the ring, which kind of Kurt was doing, but at the same time, it was like it wasn't completely one-sided.
Yeah.
No,
it wasn't 2005, 2003. You might be right. It might be 2005. Right, carry on. Gary was saying, I'll check this. Oh, geez.
Yeah. And I think he got a lot of mileage. I don't think specifically this was the feud when he's saying this stuff, right? But he was calling Rey Mysterio, "You're a boy in a man's world, and I'm a man who loves playing with boys." No, wait a minute.
Yeah, that's a bit awkward.
You're a boy in a man. And then it's like, no, what I meant to say is, "You're a boy and I'm a man, and I love to manhandle." And he's like, wait.
Little boys.
Yeah. And then he's like, no, you're a boy and a man, and tonight when we get here together, I'm gonna get on top of you. And wait. And he's saying this all with a straight face. I was like, oh, Kurt, man, how do you do it? How do you say all this stuff that they ask you to say, and you deliver it without cracking up?
Yeah, because he's Kurt Angle.
Yeah,
that's why he just gets.
Yeah,
it's his character in it, so he sort of gets away with it, isn't it? Yeah.
But the thing is, some of the stuff he makes, they make him say.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with Undertaker when Paul Bearer just says all that stuff in his high pitched voice and everything like that, and Undertaker just no selling it, and I'm like, man, how'd you do that? How'd you do that?
Yeah.
And you tune him out and then do the Undertaker's gravelly voice as well on top of it.
Rest in peace. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you think Kurt Angle was better in TNA than in like? What would you think of his runs if you put them to not side by side, but like as a 1-to-1?
You know what? I might have to say his run in TNA might actually be better because he was actually in TNA way longer than he was with WWE. And it took me years to realize that. Like, oh wait, he was only in WWE for like say 4 years, 6 years.
No, that's not right. Really?
Yeah.
Wait, so
1999 to 2006, he was in WWE, and then 2006 to like 2015, he was in TNA.
Oh yeah, jeez, yeah.
Yeah, see, you're like, oh wow.
I mean, I knew it was longer. But I was like, well, yeah, a good couple of years longer.
Yeah. Never thought about it. I was like, oh wow, okay, that's crazy. Huh.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, anything you want to say about his WWF run prior to that before we go into his TNA run, or are we just going to jump back and forth? We could just
we could jump
as you remember stuff.
Yeah, jump back and forth.
Okay.
Trying to think. When he was obsessed with Booker T and his wife.
My goodness.
Yeah.
Wait, that was still in WWE, right?
Yeah. That was great.
Yeah. And, well, you know what? I mean, after that logic, right?
Yeah.
I can see why he would have a son like Jason Jordan.
Yeah. It's like, okay, they made a weird reference back to that. Even as something you don't really want to bring back because he said some weird things because he didn't
Yeah,
because he didn't know what a certain word meant and he used it and then he realized
and I think he meant to say a different term, right? A more rough and tumble term.
Yeah.
But he said the wrong term.
Yeah.
And then also that made it seem like Sharmell was beneath him.
Yeah.
So it's like, what?
Yeah, you're like, okay, that's not weird at all.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Kirk. Great guy.
Yeah. Do you remember this? He had this feud with Brock Lesnar. Okay, so they feuded for the title, right? This is convoluted, by the way.
Yeah.
So, Brock had the title. Who did he win this title off?
Who, Brock?
The Rock. He won one of the Rock. Yeah.
Rock. Yeah. That's SummerSlam.
Then Brock feuded with Big Show.
Yeah.
Right. Who Paul Heyman which is great, right? Because he was throwing Big Show about, right? Amazingly.
Yeah.
And then Paul Heyman decided to turn on Brock.
Yep.
Brock chased Paul Heyman around. Big Show then chokeslammed Brock on the chair.
Yeah.
Okay. So then it's Paul Heyman and Brock together. Yeah. This was in November. Then December, Kurt's like, "Oh, I'm going to challenge for the title. I'm going to challenge Big Show for the title, right?"
Yeah.
And then he said, "Brock, will you like he's big and massive? Will you be my help me?" Because who else? There was someone else in that stable, and he was like, help me even the odds or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Brock says, "I'll think about it," which is wrestling code for "I'll be there," right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so then Brock helps Kurt Angle win the title, and then Paul Heyman's like, "Yeah, but it was my plan all along. Kurt Angle is on my side."
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, that doesn't make any sense because you just had the title switch from one of your stable members to another, a hidden member of your stable.
Yeah.
All to make this guy look stupid, but really the company's looking stupid.
Yeah.
Okay, so they do that, and then Kurt Angle has this Royal Rumble 2003 match with the man who we named, which we shouldn't have named.
Yeah.
He lost. Kurt Angle won the match, which made him look good.
Yeah.
And Brock then won the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
So then they were like, but Kurt was going to have neck surgery. Like, I think basically his neck was in battered shape. And he was like, the way he tells it, right? He was going to have neck surgery very soon.
Yeah.
So he might have made WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And then there was a fan or something like that and said, "Oh, Kurt, you're going to be at WrestleMania." And he's like, "Oh, I can't let this boy down. I can't let this, like, Kurt Angle fan down." Young Kurt Angle fan. All his neighbors was someone he knew, right?
Yeah.
And basically put off his surgery until after the Brock Lesnar match. Yeah. Yeah. So that match, they set it up for... That was in real life, not in wrestling.
Yeah.
And then basically you set that match for... Brock will win the title in the disqualification anyways and stuff like that. So Kurt Angle would have to beat him definitively if he was going to win.
Yeah.
Which is good because, Kurt got the legitimacy from the Rumble so that he can and is capable of winning by himself.
Yeah.
I like that match, by the way, that they had. It could have went way more Olympic wrestling.
Yeah, because they both are like legit Olympic, not athletes, but like wrestlers. Yeah.
And he couldn't go 100% full pelt because Kurt Angle was like injured and stuff like that. Yeah. So fair enough, right? But I did like the match. I think people forever remember that match because Brock Lesnar concussed himself by doing the shooting star press.
Nearly killed himself as well. Yeah. I like to believe that there's a timeline where he actually hit that, and it was amazing. Yeah.
He almost did. I think he just under rotated because
he did.
Was he not close enough?
I think he was slightly off. I think Kurt Angle wasn't close enough. So if Kurt Angle was like say a couple of inches more towards the turnbuckle we came from, it'd be fine.
Yeah. It would have probably been fine. But I think what the thing is, if he was closer, then Brock might have got the rotation. Brock didn't get 100% rotation, but he got enough to not break his own neck.
Yeah.
Whereas I guess if Kurt was any closer, he might have his head might have caught on part of Kurt's body and stopped it rotating. Yeah. And he might have actually then done more damage. But yeah, and then you can see Brock. I think they come up with a quick finish. Like I think Kurt just whispered to F5 or whatever.
Yeah.
And then when they hand Brock the title, he's dazed. You don't know what's going on.
He has no idea where he is. Yeah. Like, bless him.
Yeah. So they disappear off of that, and then Kurt comes back. I think this is where Brock is bullying everyone.
Yeah.
Zach McGowan, I believe, right?
Yeah.
The one-legged wrestler.
Yeah.
And he's just like throwing him down the stairs and F5ing him into the ring posts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then Kurt Angle and Brock have their rematch at WrestleMania because Kurt's, all-American hero.
Yep, he's the man who's here to save the day.
Yeah, and Brock Lesnar being the undefeatable beast, quote unquote. I say that because It's really weird. I mean, it was a good match. I actually like the drama of it, yeah. But Brock selling the ankle lock where Kurt Angle has the ankle lock. Brock grabs one side of the ring ropes, and Kurt Angle then pulls him back, and then he basically does it on all four sides of the ring.
Yeah.
And I think Vince interfered as well, and Kurt Angle still won. I'm like, wow, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kurt Angle, I don't know, like they give him Super Soldier Serum or what they do while he was time off, you know?
They put Super Soldier Serum into his spinal column. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so strong.
But yeah, I did enjoy their matches together, Kurt Angle and Brock as well, because they seem to have good chemistry.
Yeah, they were great. Yeah.
And like, you know, sometimes the matches kind of vary in style because they don't need to be completely like they are serious, but sometimes, you know, Kurt Angle he swapped himself out with Eric Angle.
Yeah, that match was hilarious as well. Yeah.
Not the first time he did it. I think the first time he did it, right, was against Undertaker.
Yeah, it was against Undertaker. Yeah.
And Kurt Angle ran away from him, ran underneath the ring, and then Undertaker went to the other side of the ring, and so then he grabbed the guy, threw him in the ring, powerbombed him.
Yeah.
1, 2, and then he's like, "Wait a minute, something's wrong." And everyone is like, "Why is it just not lay on top of Kurt Angle? What's going on?"
Yeah.
And then Kurt Angle himself appears out of nowhere.
That was one of the times. Yeah. Then the other time was when it was during someone's entrance. It might have been Brock.
Oh, it was Brock's entrance. Yeah.
And he slides out, and then Eric slides in. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Kurt Angle basically roll-up pins him. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that was hilarious.
Do you remember the feud, by the way, speaking of the Undertaker, when Undertaker was Biker Taker?
Yeah.
And Kurt Angle, I can't remember the exact details of the feud, but there was a part of it where Kurt Angle then very tepidly poured paint over Undertaker's bike. You made me do it, Undertaker, with your disrespect. I can't remember what it was. But this was when there was a fully loaded 2000, I believe, with the triple headliner.
I kind of remember this.
Where you had Kurt Angle versus Undertaker.
Yeah.
Jericho versus Triple H in a last man standing match. And The Rock versus he who shall not be named but is named anyways.
Yeah.
In if The Rock gets disqualified, he loses the title.
Yeah, it sounds slightly familiar.
Yeah. And I was like, wait a minute, why is it a triple? I mean, how's it a triple main event? Because the main event is the last match, right?
Yeah, that's what they would like you to believe.
Yeah. Even though, realistically speaking, Jericho and Triple H was probably the one that was the actual main event, because of the drama and the stakes there, and it was more of a gimmick match.
Yeah.
They probably didn't want Triple H winning. They probably didn't want the last, like the heel winning.
Yeah, the last match, innit? Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah.
They didn't want the heat.
Yeah. And any other things from his WWE run that you wish to speak of?
Not really, no.
I mean, we might pop up something else later.
Yeah. And I'm cut it off here because we spoke way too long about Kurt Angle, so we split this into 2 episodes. So the next episode, we talking about his time in TNA/Impact, and then when he came back to the WWE after leaving Impact. So I hope you all enjoyed this episode. I have been the bald-headed sex pest, Carl Charles, and my partner CY, who obviously is not here because I'm editing this and getting ready to go out. So hope you all enjoyed this kind of short episode, but get ready for the next part, which is quite long. And I'll catch you guys later. And thank you for taking a trip with us around the multiverse. Wait, also, sorry, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and leave us a review, and let people know about our podcast, because that'd be great. Very, very great. And also, Kurt Angle's TNA entrance music was a banger. And now I'm signing off. Thanks for taking a trip with us around the multiverse. Peace.
I brought you a present. I brought you a present from Texas.
Really? For me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll love it.
Really?
And I was in a gift-giving mood, so I bought myself one too.
You did?
Got it right here.
Well, should I open it now?
Let's open them together.
All right, let's open it together.
Nice wrap. You like it, don't you?
I can't believe you did this for me.
You know, being from Texas and all, I thought this would be the thing to cheer you up.
Well, here goes.
Put it on, partner.
What do you think, Deborah?
Oh, that is so you.
Goes with the shirt, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
You look great.
Thank you.
How you doing there, cowboy?
Hey, how are you? Hey, Vince, how you doing?
Good.
Hey. Well, I'm here. Hey, I don't know if you guys realize this, but you have the same identical cowboy hats on.
Look, I don't know if you remember what happened to me on Monday, okay?
Yeah, Vince, I'm really sorry about that.
Yeah, well, you know what? And Steve brought me a gift. This is a gift from Stone Cold Steve Austin, all the way from Texas. And quite frankly, it's doing a hell of a lot to cheer me up.
I'm glad.
That's great.
What's wrong?
Well, you got Vince a gift. You even got yourself a gift. You didn't get me a big gift.
You know, you think Stone Cold Steve Austin's a big tough guy all the time, but I got you something, you little rascal.
You did?
Yeah, I didn't forget about you.
That's great.
You're
Thank
your
you.
pal.
Yeah.
I like you. Not very much, but I like you.
Is that it?
There it is.
Oh, wow.
It's for you.
Oh, man, this is great.
Sit down and open it up.
God.
Hey, but we'll make sure this goes this way.
No, straight down. What we can do, we get some steam, we can shape them later.
Steam them?
Yeah, make them exact same.
Hey, guys, how's this look? I feel like a real cowboy. Yippee-ki-yay!
You look great.
Thank you.
You look
I
really,
feel great.
you look really great.